Hello, my name is Charlotte Huggins and I'm here to discuss the proposed digital marketing strategy for the pet clothing accessory brand Sotnos. This presentation will discuss the proposed strategy, the objectives to go alongside the strategy and the artefacts created to go alongside the strategy. This is the overview of the presentation. So in the introduction we will discuss the outline of the project, the outline of the strategy objectives, the outline of the pet clothing industry, Sotnos currently within the market, and the target market of Sotnos. We will then discuss the situational analysis, which was a pestle analysis of the macro environment of Sotnos, a SWOT analysis of the internal and external environment of Sotnos, and then a competitor analysis as well. And then we will also discuss the marketing strategy objectives, which will be analysed via a SMART objective analysis. And then the last portion of the presentation will be an in-depth look and analysis of the artefacts created to go alongside the strategy. Okay, so we now move on to the introduction of the project. Okay, so the outline of the project. So the overall task was to create a digital marketing strategy for a brand, either hypothetical or real. I chose Sotnos personally because I resonated with them at a consumer level. Their products are aesthetically pleasing, they're unique. I also fit under their target demographic of 18 plus and a pet owner. I have 2 dogs and I found that the products themselves resonated with me on a personal and a professional level, as I would buy as a consumer. The brand is local to me, which meant that it was easy to have a working relationship with the brand. I could have frequent contact and be inside the business and see it through and through. Okay, so here we have the outline of the marketing strategy objectives. So strategy 1 was to create brand loyalty from the client's current consumer base via a relationship marketing method. And this was to increase the consumer engagement as well. The second strategy is to create a strong brand image by ensuring the brand's aesthetic is present throughout all areas of the marketing strategy and prevalent in the artefacts. So here we have an overview of the pet clothing and accessory industry in the UK. So over a quarter of pet owners admit that they would like to pamper their pets. An average of nearly £200 a year is spent on clothes for their pets, with 66% of owners buying accessories for their pets. And then the UK alone spends a whopping 10 billion a year on their dogs and 8 billion a year on their cats, showing how substantial the industry actually is. So the target demographic of Sotnos currently is pet owners that are 18 plus, specifically dog owners, as that is what the current core products are. They don't actually cater to cats currently, but that is room for progression in the future. But they would also like for the target market to have an interest in fashion, which obviously extends to their dogs, as the products are very trend driven and they are very fashion orientated. So Sotnos currently has a very wide demographic, as previously mentioned. Their demographic is therefore very inclusive. It does not care about gender or age. It's all very inclusive, which shows that there is a wide potential for growth within the demographic. It is a small business that started in 2015, so it is still relatively a new business as well, which also means that they have a lot of potential for growth. And they do engage with social media, but primarily Facebook. They do engage with Instagram and Twitter as well, but Facebook is their main social media that they use, and they have 1,500 likes on their Facebook page currently. They are solely e-commerce in-house. They do externally distribute to certain retailers and other wholesalers, but that is a very limited part of the business. They are primarily e-commerce, which is managed in-house by the client. The e-commerce site currently has very basic e-commerce functions. Your very basic product information, cart, not very personalised, doesn't have like a blog page, doesn't have a gallery or anything that could, where the consumer can engage on the website. And they primarily want to be a trendy lifestyle brand, but for dogs. The brand's USP is arguably their brand aesthetic. They claim to be a product line inspired by Scandinavian outdoor living. The brand is very focused on trendy pieces that are functional in the outdoors, so usually for walks, so they are practical as well as fashionable. I would argue that their aesthetic is their USP, as there is no other competitors on the market that do exclusively what they do. There are competitors that do similar products or for similar functions, but they do not have the same look or the same quality as Sotnos's products. So the next part of the presentation will be the situational analysis of Sotnos, which will analyse all areas of the business internally and externally. To analyse Sotnos's macro environment, a PESTAL analysis was conducted. PESTAL analysis stands for political, economical, socio-cultural, technological, environmental and legal, and these are all the brackets that will be explored in the analysis. So, as you can see here, the main issue that will affect the political macro environment of the client is Brexit. Brexit has the potential to restrict market access with more complex supply chains, and as Sotnos is technically quite a small business, that can be quite restricting for them. Tax reforms, which include changes to dividend allowances and increases to VAT thresholds, can also affect them as a small business, as the dividend allowances can actually be quite beneficial to small businesses. Originally it was about £3,000 and it's been drastically reduced, which can affect sales, revenues, things like that, which is quite important. The socio-cultural issue, so with trends, so the business is quite niche. The products are not necessity items for pets, but they are niche products as such. But they do appeal to a growing trend, with 66% of UK pet owners that buy accessories for their pets, which means that it is very much a growing industry. So there is a lot of potential for growth there. So the technological influences, so is the fact that the business is primarily e-commerce. Customers will frequently not complete their purchase journey on an e-commerce store. Quite frequently, statistics have found that consumers will use the basket function as actually a wish list, which can obviously bring down like traffic rates and click-through rates and things like that, which can affect an online business quite drastically. And also the fact that they are primarily e-commerce does affect their potential for growth with regards to their demographic. Obviously their wide demographic is a positive for the business, but it also means they're not catering to all areas of the demographic currently. A statistic here shows that 47% of over 75s in the UK still aren't actually online, let alone engaging with e-commerce stores, which means that there is the potential for growth there that is being ignored. The economical, so sustainability is a massive of consumers in this generation. So research conducted by Nielsen in 2018 showed that 81% of consumers that took part in a global survey prioritise businesses that are stable. So this essentially means that even though that Sotnos is very much advertised as a outdoor lifestyle brand and promotes this sort of, the brand image approach an eco-living sort of lifestyle, Scandinavian, being out in the woods, their products themselves are actually not sustainable. Currently, there have been discussions with the client about in the future having the potential to become sustainable products and use more eco-friendly materials, but the products themselves aren't actually sustainable, and with a lot of their consumer base being interested in sustainability, which will feature later in the presentation, there is a missed opportunity for revenue there, and also could be a negative brand image if they're not engaging with their consumers' needs and their consumers' interests. And then finally we have the legal influences of the macro environment, which be international trade laws. So although Sotnos's manufacturer is in China, which is not affected by Brexit and like EU trade laws and things like that, Sotnos is primarily based in the UK. Their head office in the UK, and where they deal business is primarily in the UK. a lot of B2B business, obviously as well as the e-commerce B2C business. So an issue that might affect them is that differences in currency, protection against the risk of non-payment is a lot more difficult overseas, and they may need to take action against intellectual property in other countries, which is a lot more of a lengthy process than it would be exclusively in the UK. So the next feature of the situational analysis will be a SWOT analysis of the internal and external environment of the client. So SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. The strengths and weaknesses analyse the internal environment, and the opportunity and threats analyse the external environment. So for the two main strengths for the client internally are arguably their USP and their e-commerce presence. So in regards to e-commerce, e-commerce is growing substantially and is expected to generate a staggering $45 trillion by 2021 globally, therefore arguing that e-commerce is essentially the future of retail. Here we have a global consumer report which showed that in 2017, which showed that participants voted that on their favourite positives of e-commerce essentially. So we have here the ability to shop 24/7, the ability to compare prices at face value, convenience of not going to the shop also being a high one. All of these qualities are exclusive to e-commerce. And here, to support the hypothesis, is results from a primary research that was conducted internally by me to support my findings, which showed that a questionnaire of 150 participants showed that asked, are you more inclined to shop online or in store? Now, surprisingly, it was quite equal throughout, so 30% shopped exclusively online, 32.9% shopped exclusively in store, and 37.1% did both, which showed that maybe in a future marketing strategy, another way of retelling the products might appeal to the demographic, as the participants were exclusively from the client's demographic currently, as the primary research questionnaire was posted on the client's Facebook page, meaning that the only people that took part already engaged with the client's brand. So here we have the internal weaknesses of the client. So arguably it is their relatively small social media following compared to competitors and the lack of traditional media presence. So currently their most engaged social media platform that they engage with the most is Facebook. They have an average of 1,500 likes on their Facebook page currently. And even though this works currently with the current consumer base, with results later in the presentation will show that their current consumer base does engage with Facebook the most, which is successful. However, for future growth, they basically will need to engage with other sites such as Instagram more, as a lot of the target demographic are engaging with these sort of social media sites more traditionally than Facebook, with results showing that Instagram, for example, now has 1 billion users worldwide, which is up a staggering 800 million since 2017, showing the drastic amount of growth with platforms like Instagram. And the Facebook is fantastic currently, but like I said, Instagram would be the way going forward. With regards to traditional media presence, press coverage can really widen a brand awareness. It has the potential to reach a national level. Social media is great within the community, the people that would engage with the brand, because they fit the target market. They would actively seek the content that the brand would be offering, whereas traditional media has the potential to just send it out to all demographics. Also, if the client was to send out a press release, even to local newspapers, it would also mean that they had control of the voice of the article, and that then their brand message is coming in-house, and the brand message they want is reaching consumers. And also, with regards to the primary research previously mentioned, the participants were asked, what social media are you most active on? Which, as mentioned, was Facebook, with a majority of 68.6% engaging with Facebook compared to 21.4% with Instagram currently, showing that Facebook is working with the current consumer base. But if the client ever wanted to move past the marketing strategy and then focus on expanding their demographic, Instagram could be a potential. So here, Okay, so here we have the external opportunities for the client. So they have no direct competitors and the majority of pet owners own dogs. So firstly, with regards to competitors, the pet clothing market is still relatively a small market. So having no direct competitors means that they have a majority share of the market currently. With regards to direct competitors, what I mean by that is saying that even though there may be other pet clothing brands, they do not have the aesthetic, the quality and the brand image that the Top Nos currently have. They may cater to certain aspects, such as they may have products that are designed for outdoor living, as along with the USP, but they do not have the whole package as such. With regards to the majority of pet owners owning dogs, it means that the products that the client is creating is hitting the demographic needed. So they are catering to a very growing market, a market that has the potential to grow even further in the next 10 years or so. So there is a lot of potential growth in-house and with regards to profit margin. So this is some more research provided by the primary research questionnaire that supports the hypothesis that the majority of the pet owners are dogs, with the client's own consumer base having a majority of 76.5% of dog owners. However, there is also an opportunity for growth in the form of maybe in the future creating products for cats as well, as quite another staggering amount of the participants owned cats at 42.6%. So if the client was ever willing to branch out from exclusively creating dog products, there would be a market even that would another market and demographic that they could cater to as well, which is also a potential for profit. So here we have the external threats. So the market growth, so even though it is currently a small market, as it is such a fast-paced market and it is on the growth, the market will grow, which always means more competitors. The product is a novelty and a trend, and novelty items are often not sustainable. So in regards to market growth, their USP is their brand aesthetic is their USP. Therefore, if there are more competitors and more businesses taking part within the pet clothing industry, they might also have a very similar brand aesthetic, which means that the client's USP will no longer be unique. It will be something that is not something that's going to engage the consumers to buy the products. Although the quality will always be very high with the products, the trendy and fashion-led design of the products can something that a brand, if they are starting up, might be able to copy. So therefore they will lose their majority market share. So with regards to sustainability, currently Top Nos's products are not sustainable. Even though their brand aesthetic does kind of advertise this outdoor living, eco lifestyle, the materials used in a lot of their products are not sustainable, and a large proportion of their target consumer does engage with sustainability in products. An infographic here by the Global Web Index showed that 58% of Gen Z, which is 16 to 21 year olds, 61% of millennials, 22 to 35 year olds, 55% of Gen X, which is 36 to 54 year olds, and 46% of baby boomers, which is 55 to 64 year olds, which is a massive proportion of the client's target market, would all pay more for a product if it is eco-friendly and sustainable. Therefore, the brand is not engaging with these profit margins because they are not engaging with the trend of sustainability, and they are also not adopting a relationship marketing method as they are not engaging with the client's interests and needs. Some more statistics from the primary research that was conducted showed that the participants also valued highly sustainability in the buying process. So with a majority of 34.3% valued it extremely important in their buying process out of a 1 to 5 measurement. Okay, so here we have a competitor analysis. As previously mentioned, Top Nos does not have a direct competitor. However, a competitor was found that created similar products and had some aspects of the brand's USP. So the brand mentioned is Herta. It is a brand based in Finland and is arguably the closest competitor on the market. So here we have some facts comparing the two brands. So arguably Sotnos has a small social media following compared to Herta's large social media following. Herta currently has over 20,000 Instagram followers. They have about 30,000 likes on their Facebook page. And these are all from international consumers, whereas the following on Sotnos's social media pages are exclusively UK based. The way that they do business is also very different, whereas Sotnos is primarily e-commerce with the mentioned wholesaler purchasing their products or other retail places purchasing the products, which is a very small part of the business. Herta is actually exclusively selling to other retailers and other wholesalers. Their website is not even e-commerce, it is more of an information page and an interactive page for consumers. There's a lot of blogs on there. They have an ambassadorship program with dogs and cats from around the world, where they are basically influencers, and they wear the products and they do like hikes and things for charity and really like positive brand image. But there is no e-commerce function whatsoever. You cannot purchase the product B2C, only B2B and B2C through retailers. Sotnos's products are very trend driven, very fashion driven. It's more about how they look and the quality, whereas quality is also a factor of Herta, but in a different way. It's more practical. So their products are designed for extreme weather, to like, for example, snow. A lot of their jackets are to adapt to the cold to keep the dogs protected. So quality is still a thing, but in a different way. And also Herta has a worldwide trade. They are an international business. They sell to retailers all over the world, whereas Sotnos is still relatively quite small. So they are primarily UK based B2C. They do have international customers. There's a few customers in Germany and USA that purchase regularly, but apart from that, their consumer base is primarily UK. Okay, so the next part of the presentation will be the marketing strategy objectives. And the objectives will be analysed via a SMART marketing analysis, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and time-based. So firstly we have specific. So with specific you have to ask the questions of what do we wish to accomplish? So we wish to accomplish to double the average monthly sales figures. Who are involved would be the e-commerce team and the marketing and sales teams in-house at Sotnos. What resources are involved? The resources currently are the £50 marketing budget that the client provided. When is it going to happen? Would be from the 6th of September to the 6th of March over a 6-month period. And what parts of the goal are essential? The logo must function on all platforms. It must be adaptable. The website must be fully functional. Must not be slow, must have a quick click-through rate. And the website and logo must fit the brand image and aesthetic. These are both the artefacts that are created to go alongside the strategy. And why is the goal important? It's important as the market could grow substantially, and a loyal consumer base is a reliable source of income. Also reinforces a positive image if the brand is heavily focused on building relationships with their consumers. So here we have the measurable aspect of SMART objectives. So how do you know whether the goal has been achieved? We will know if the goal has been achieved if at the end of the strategy the proposed return of investment is achieved of doubling the revenue. So what efforts are required? So the e-commerce teams must adhere to the blog schedule and stick to the content calendar that will be provided to them. And then how can it be measured? By comparing the monthly sales figures compared to the figures from the previous 6 months on the client's current website, which was designed by Wix. So with regards to whether the objectives are attainable, they are attainable for the business. The business has enough money to invest in the strategy, and to also manage the monthly domain cost of £15 to use the domain website Squarespace, which is what the artifact has been built on. And if the objectives are attainable financially, yes, as previously mentioned, the costs are extremely low, especially for a business that is growing so fast as Sotnos. And are they attainable for the employees? Yes, again. The website is easily manageable, and it also carries marketing statistics which will aid the marketing team to grow the website in the future. And it also, because it's so easy to run and to manage, it won't distract the client's teams from their other day-to-day tasks, which is a massive part of the running of a day-to-day business and keeping the employee satisfaction up. And is there enough time? Yes, 6 months is a reasonable time frame to expect a steady profit growth, and to achieve profit without compromising on employee satisfaction, without putting too much pressure on the employees to achieve a growth. So here we have the relevance of the strategies. So are they relevant to the business? Yes, the business is a small business and the tasks needed for the strategy are inexpensive and not time consuming. It also ties in with the existing marketing strategies that Sotnos has. They have a very strong email marketing strategy, which is a very high click-through rate and is a result of a lot of their current revenue. And also, are they relevant to the employees? Yes, there is already an e-commerce team which are equipped with all the knowledge needed to run an e-commerce website. So time-based. So is the subject short-term or long-term? The marketing objectives are short-term. It is 6 months, but if the client would like to continue with this marketing strategy after the 6-month period, the results from the marketing strategy would be adapted to create a long-term strategy based on the results from the short-term strategy. And in regards to, is there enough time for each individual goal? Yes, each blog post is a month apart, which is to accommodate to the busy schedules of the client's employees currently. And the artifacts will also be fully functional prior to the beginning of the strategy, with little maintenance except for obviously project loading and content loading. And on the following slide, there is a Gantt chart which describes the project management of the plan strategy so far, as well as suggestion for the client when managing the blog content in the future. So as you can see here, it describes how like a photo shoot to create content for the website, the redesign of the website, creation of the blog, creation of the logo are all in August prior to the strategy to make sure that the client is prepared. And we also have the creation of the blog content with a list of suggested titles for the blog. As you'll see later in the website analysis, the first blog is already uploaded. The client is willing to edit it as much as they like, but it's just a suggestion. A blog about sustainability. And then it says here, it shows the monthly publication of the blog, but also a benchmark of the suggested potential traffic to the website based from the blog. So the next part of the presentation will be an in-depth look at the artifacts and an analysis of the artifacts. So here we have the redesigned logo. So the choice to redesign the logo was based upon the idea of the second objective, creating a really strong brand image that is fluid throughout all areas of the strategy and the business. The logo was created using Adobe Photoshop, and it was created by me individually. I had the software available, so therefore it was free of cost and did not interfere with the marketing budget from the client. However, if the client would like to redesign the logo in the future and alter it and refresh the logo as such, then they might have to pay externally for a logo designer. And also if they would like to copyright the image, there are other fees associated with that as well, which should be considered. The shape of the logo is so that it can adapt to all platforms, including all social media platforms, as well as the website. And the content within the logo was designed to go along with the brand aesthetic. So it's all based on earthy tones and earthy colours. To get the Scandinavian aspect of it, we obviously have the fern leaves, and also the font was inspired by other Scandinavian clothing brands. to give it the real aesthetic that it looks for. And obviously the inclusion of the pause was to link the consumers that view the logo back to the products that the client sells. And next we have an analysis of the website redesign that was created as one of the artefacts. In this part of the analysis we will go through every individual part of the website and show all the website functions and describe the inspiration behind them and the purpose of them along with the marketing strategy. So here we have the redesigned website to go along with the marketing strategy. So here we have the redesigned logo. It's completely adaptable to all platforms. As you can see here, it's fully functional on the website. Every aspect of the website is also fully functional, including the gallery here on the home page. It's interactive, so the clients can click through, see a slideshow of the product images at face value. The written content also describes certain aspects of the brand aesthetic. And also here we have a gallery of the lifestyle images to connote the brand values and the brand image. The general aesthetic of the website is inspired by the brand and its aesthetic. It's very trendy and fashionable with its minimalistic style. The tones of the imagery content are very earthy to go alongside the brand design of the logo and also the brand outdoor living aesthetic. So features on the homepage are a gallery and also a slideshow gallery along with some written content. Also features a link to the shipping and returns to provide the clients with all of the shipping policies and returns policies for the brand, and every page also has a link to sign up to the newsletter via email to align with the client's current email marketing strategy. So the shop tab has two tabs here. So first it was divided by accessories, which is the collars and leads section. Here features the 3 products that they have currently. First of all, you'll see the lifestyle images, and as the client hovers over, it will change to basic product images. And for example, if we click through to the yellow and blue colour block dog collar, one of their most popular products, it will feature a lifestyle image along with the name of the product, the price, and it will also feature a description of the products with the written content to align with the cover and written style on the brand's page to align with their overall brand image. It will also have links to all the Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And it also has some product images as well as the lifestyle images. And it also features some basic description of the products that will say the sizing, it will discuss the actual design details and also the materials, and for example it says this one's leather and it says all the different sizing options. Same is also for the clothing tab. It's the same sort of features. I will quickly show you. If we click through there, it also features the same layout, a lifestyle image as the primary image along with a product image. It will also feature a possibility to add to cart and also a product description along with product details. So this was the main redesign of the website along with the marketing strategy. So the inclusion of the blog, which we updated monthly. This here was custom designed. The client will have the option to design their own custom content as well. This service was free to create this. And this is a proposed blog based on research about how sustainability is really important to the client's demographic. All the content is original. It also features, once again, the email sign up and the shipping and returns, which are all fully functional. It also features a contact/frequently asked questions page with, once again, with the return policies, the email address of the client's headquarters, even basic information on how to care for the items, as the quality is so unique on the products. They do often have to have certain care aspects to them. And then there is a contact us form if the client has any issues they would like to, if the customers have any issues they would like to address with the client. Also, once again, links to the client's social media pages, which are actually and also for Twitter. Okay, and finally we have the cart page. And the cart is completely fully functional, ready to use when the website goes live. As you can see, we have nothing in the cart, but if there was, it would provide the option to carry on with the purchase, and they would be sent an email with all of their purchase information and their order number, as with any other e-commerce purchase, showing that the whole website is fully functional and ready to use for the client. Okay, so this section will be the proposed results as of the end of the marketing strategy. So here we have a content calendar, which is just basically a simple way of showing to the client the proposed strategy for all of the content that's created on the website redesign and when to publish it and things like that. So we also suggested other aspects, such as maybe doing photo shoots for new season content per website. So not just stereotypical product images, but also a lifestyle photo shoot like the current content on the website redesign to further the brand image. Obviously it's here, so we also suggested maybe starting giveaway competitions or discount codes to just engage the consumers further. And this is also along with the Gantt chart, will start in September the 6th and end in March the 6th. So on this slide we have the action based on the marketing budget. So with regards to who will be conducting the strategy themselves, it will be in-house by the client's employees, where possible outside of photographers for content photo shoots. So the cost in-house is free to write content for the blog, as it is the employees doing it. Out of house, if they would like to use an external photographer, research suggests that the fees for a freelance would roughly cost £41 per hour, and an agency would be £20 per project image. And also the domain cost of Squarespace is £15 per month. And where it would engage with the consumers directly via the blog on the website and current social media platforms. So we would suggest that the client's current social media marketing team would basically create hype for the blog to drive traffic to the blog on the website, in the hope that after reading the blog they would be persuaded to browse product images and hopefully make a purchase. And then with regards to with what, it is the owned strategies will be Squarespace domain, and the earned would be SEO, e-signs and social media engagement. And here is the estimated return on investment from this short-term 6-month strategy. So using the return on investment formula of net return divided by profit divided by the investment times 100. So we worked it out via, as this is an estimation, as the website is not live, so we don't have any current sales figures. We based the estimation on the average monthly order on the current website, which is 2 items per order with an average of £28 spent. And then obviously the aim is to, over the next 6 months, to double revenue. So therefore an average of 4 items per order and an average of £56 spent per customer is what the strategy is aiming to achieve per month. And so by using the return on investment formula and times that by 6 based on the length of the strategy, the estimated return on investment is £672 over the 6-month period. So here we have the benefits and limitations of the strategy. So the benefits will be to improve the engagement with current consumers, engages with current technological marketing trends, improvement on the current successes of the existing marketing strategies, and a more refined brand identity throughout all platforms, and it is cost efficient. The limitations are the assumptions of return on investment are based on research, not facts. The profit is reliant on consumer loyalty, which can easily waver, and it can also take a lot of time to build consumer loyalty. So we have reached the end of the presentation. I would like to thank you for your time and thank you for listening.